Have you ever had a time when you were studying and you really didn't remember what you were studying when you took your test? That can be really frustrating. Today I'm going to show you a new method of note-taking that will help you be more successful as a student because you will be able to remember more of the things that were in your notes. So the method that I'm going to talk about today is called the Cornell method. And it is a really simple method, but it helps you to recall information more quickly and to keep it in your mind for longer. So the first thing you have to do when you're doing the Cornell method is you need to set up your paper like this one. So this top section here is going to be where you have your title of your lecture, which is just the subject of the lecture. It's no big deal. It can be whatever you want it to be to help you remember. And then just put your name on there just so you know if somebody picked up your notes, they would know they were yours. That just makes it easier. And you're going to leave about a 2-inch margin here on the side of the paper and about a 1.5-inch margin on the bottom. And then the main body of your paper you're going to be using for making your notes. So it's a really simple way to set up your paper. If you have it set up ahead of time, it will make it really easy for you to use this system. Now there's 5 R's in the Cornell note-taking system, and it makes it quick and simple to do what you need to do. The first thing you're going to do is record your notes. So in this section of the paper is the main section. You're going to record just like you would any other day, take notes from your class. When you're taking notes from your class, you want to make sure that you're using abbreviations so that you can get as much of the information on your paper as possible, but still remember what you meant. So don't use abbreviations that you're going to forget. So that section of the paper is the main point, is getting all your information from your teacher. A lot of times your teacher will give you formulas, or they will give you examples, especially like if it's a math class, you want to write examples in there. If they do a little drawing on the board or on their PowerPoint, you may want to sketch that in there as well. It's anything that will help you remember the material you're going to put in your note section. So the second R in this method is reduce. And so this side column is going to be used after your class. You're not going to do it during your class. After class, within the first hour or so, it's ideal. You're going to go back and you're going to pull out the keywords or phrases or vocabulary that will help you have the main points out here to the side. So when you're taking notes, you're going to take notes on each subject and you're going to skip a line and then you'll start on the next subject. So for each area that you take notes for, over here you're going to put a keyword or a phrase that will help you remember that. So you'll have that section to do that in. And then at the very bottom of this page, you're going to summarize what is on this page of notes. Now let's be honest, you're going to have more than one page of notes on most classes. So you're going to only summarize that page. So you're going to have several pages of notes, of keywords, and of summary. So those are the main things that you need. Now the third R is to recite. And this is the most important one because it's easier to remember things that you say in your own words. What you're going to do is cover up the main note section, and you're just going to look at your keywords, main ideas, vocabulary, things like that, and you're going to put in your own words what you think the answer is. So say over here you had a vocabulary word. If you covered this part up, that would have the definition of that word. So in your own words, you're going to say what the definition of the vocabulary word is when you're reciting. Now then you're going to uncover it and check to see if you were right. If you weren't right, you can cover it back up, go on to some other material, and then come back later and try again. But the more often you say what that word means in your own words, it will help you to remember that. It will cement that in your mind. So reciting is really important. The fourth R is to reflect, and this is part of summarizing your material. You can ask yourself questions like, why is this information important? How does it connect to other things we've already learned? What do I already know about this subject? Those kinds of questions can help you relate it to yourself. And if you relate the material to yourself, and if it connects to other ideas that you already have, it is much easier to remember it going forward. So reflecting is very important. The last R is review. You need to review your notes on a regular basis. If you're taking a class like ours, where we do classwork throughout the week, and then we turn in an assignment at the end of the week, when you're studying during the week, you should be looking at your material a little bit every day. And if you do that, you'll have a much easier chance of getting a good grade on your final test. So what the 5 R's again are: to record, and that's to take your notes; to reduce them by picking out the keywords, main ideas, vocabularies, and formulas that will help you to study quickly. So say if you were studying about travel and you wanted to remember what the capital was of the state of Arizona, you may write here, what is the capital of Arizona? And in here you may say what it is. So when you're studying, you're going to cover this up, and you're going to say, when you're reciting, the capital of Arizona is Phoenix. And then that will help it keep it in your mind. Then you're going to reflect. You're going to connect the material that you learned this week to things and to material that you already know, or that maybe you learned the week before. And then you're going to review it every day until your test, so that you have as much opportunity as possible to remember the material. And that's the Cornell method of note-taking. It's really easy and simple. And if you follow the steps, it can help you remember the material that you learned and recall it quickly during your exam.